A very good evening. Welcome to The Blueprint, where we have conversations that shape the future. My name is Ifunaya. I'm your host, and I'm super excited about today's conversation. Trust me to always bring the best of the best of the best of the best. Today's conversation is one that I'm particularly excited about, and you'll get to know the reason why shortly. I am proud to introduce to you a woman whose name is synonymous with elegance, resilience, visionary leadership. She is the force behind a brand, a very iconic brand that has been leading the fashion and lifestyle space in Nigeria for 25 amazing years. This is a brand that upholds quality and experience, I would say. A brand that has been inspiring and is still inspiring the next generation of women. I'm talking about the trailblazer, the Amazon, Mrs. Ijeoma Ubosi. Join me as I welcome her on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you, Funanya. I was looking around to see who she was talking about.
Talking about you, giving you your flowers because you're so deserving of them. And you know that I had said that I'm very excited about today's conversation, and I'll tell you the reason. Why. Like, there's a backstory to this, okay? So, by the way, this is my, as they would say, my Oka Madam, all right? She is married to my boss, Mr. Chris Ubosi. I just thought to point that out so that when I start telling the story, it will make more sense, right? I remember a couple of years ago, I can't remember what particular birthday it was. And I remember there was a ruckus in the office. I was like, hey, what's going on? They say, have you seen Oga's gift? I say, which one is Oga's gift? I remember my Oga cruising with a particular gift that was given to him by his wife. I said, hey? I was like, wait, hold up. Is this our own version of Jay-Z and Beyonce in Nigeria? What is going on? Do you know that ever since that day, because working in Mega Electrics, I didn't really see much of you anyways, right? Yeah, I didn't really see much of you, but from that day onwards, I said, who is that woman? Who is that woman? Who is this woman that has come to show up and show out? Because I love it when I see women that embody possibilities, things that are possible. I like seeing it. I want to know. I don't want it to be theoretical where someone will come and tell me, you can. Let me see you're walking. Yeah. And ever since that day, I was like, I need to know more about this woman. I need to because I was enamored and I was amazed. So that is the backstory, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have this conversation. Welcome, Mrs. Ijeoma Ubosi. I'm glad that you indulged me on this conversation. I'm super excited. Now, Kontessa, let's just travel into the story of the Kontessa brand. Like I did mention, running a business in Nigeria is no small feat. I had the opportunity to be at your anniversary and just hearing your story, and I want us to get deeper into that. I want to know where this all began before Kontessa. I would like for you to give us a peek into the young Ijeoma Ubosi. If possible, in fact, the young Ijeoma Ubosi from maybe university, before even getting married. I just want to get into the mind of the young Ijeoma Ubosi.
Okay. The young Ijeoma will be there.
Okay, yes.
So I spent 1 year in University of Lagos, and then I moved to the UK to continue my university. Spent a year at the University of Reading studying chemistry and computer science. And then after my first year exams, I remember I was at home in London and my dad was like, oh, why not apply for pharmacy? That's what you would really like to do. And I'm like, really? I'm already in university. And we cut the long story short, I did apply and got admitted into 5 universities in the UK.
Oh.
And then started that September at University of Bath studying pharmacy. So throughout those early days, I remember then I used to wear glasses and I would always want the YSLs and the Gucci and all of that. So during the holidays, because my dad was not going to give me pocket money for that.
To buy that.
So I would have to work And then in the early days, I used to actually work as a catering assistant. Then we earned £2.50 an hour.
Wow.
And then at the end of the week or whatever, when we get paid, you know, before I go back to school, I'll have my designer glasses and I bought one Fendi bag. And I remember around the time I actually met Chris, I was 20.
Wow.
He said I had this pair of Ray-Bans that were just hideous.
Hideous.
So I guess I would say that from when I was young, fashion meant something to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was fashion forward from a young age. So it was a natural progression for me. And seeing the business opportunity is what spearheaded that interest, because I'm first of all a pharmacist and I am still a pharmacist by profession. Yes. I mean, I haven't practiced I stopped practicing in 1998, so that's like 27.
Wow. You
years.
actually did practice
pharmacy?
pharmacy?
Yes, I practiced pharmacy in the UK before I moved back, and then a couple of years after that. But in 2021, I went back to school. So being a foreign trained pharmacist, you can't practice pharmacy in Nigeria. But I had said that before I turned 50, I would embrace my profession. So before at 2021, I went back to school, spent 8 weeks in Abuja, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever done, because these are chemical equations, chemical elements, things I hadn't even remembered or done. And then the way they do it in Nigeria is different. So there are certain things like botanical names. We didn't really need to learn that, but here you have to. So, but I came out top of my class at that age.
As you should. I love that. Wow. So I mean, like, there's so much that, you know, I've been able to even get from this, your desire to constantly develop yourself, because I mean, who goes back to study pharmacy? Who, like, you know, because I know that when people find quote unquote their fashion, they just go within, they just say, you know what, this is my fashion and this is my passion rather, and this is where I'm going to be. But your desire to ensure that you were developing yourself, you took up that challenge because it was a challenge,
yes,
of which you came up tops. Now, just taking a look at you growing up, would you say that you were an adventurous or daring person or a reserved person? Did you like playing it safe or did you like taking risks?
No, I'm a risk taker. I'm a risk taker because when I even look at how I actually started, will I say buying and selling, I had gone on summer holiday to America and I was being driven by my cousin. We're going from Ohio to New Jersey, and passing through, we went through a town called Edison. I remember the time. And I spotted on the road a warehouse or an outlet, and it was Tommy Hilfiger. And I shouted, okay, Chiku, stop. This is a new designer that just started. They have an outlet. Let's go. And that was how we went in there. I even took money off him because my own money wasn't enough, and I bought a lot of shirts. And when I went back to London, I mean, in those days, early university days, those were the in brand, or that was the in brand at the time.
Yeah.
And that was how I actually started selling. So I then used to now come to America like on a monthly basis to the outlets, you know. I remember Woodbury Common, upstate New York. Yeah, that's where I used to go to. So that was actually being daring to take risks, and it has been rewarding. Sometimes not so great, but overall, it's been a good journey.
I love that very much. And my question really is, you know, seeing that, number one, you did study pharmacy, you did well. Now you also had this passion of yours. Why did you choose to move back to Nigeria? Why didn't you choose to stay back in the UK or in the US?
Okay, marriage brought me back.
Interesting.
So I had met Chris in Nigeria, in the village actually, in December. And he was well established in Nigeria. Moving to the UK wasn't something that would even come into his mind. I was still in university then. So after I finished my university, worked a bit, started my master's. I had time.
Yeah.
He didn't have much time. So I took the plunge, and that's also taking risks. And I moved back, and no regrets. One of the best decisions I've taken.
So note to self, go to the village this Christmas. I love that very much. Okay, so now moving back to Nigeria, and dare I say that, at least in those days, a lot of times you get married, the focus is mostly on family, especially as a woman. So before you did get married, what was your vision? Did you have the plan to pursue or further your career, or was your focus on, let me just focus on, being a wife, having my children? I want to know what your thinking was like.
Well, I guess from an early stage, I felt I could manage both. So getting married was a priority. Having a family was a priority. But I also remember that when I moved back home, because we had been together for like 5 years, but love across the ocean. So I decided that I needed to spend time enjoying my relationship with my husband before thinking about children. Some people may not agree with that, but that was a decision that we took together, that at least let's spend some time enjoying ourselves, living together as husband and wife. And that was one of the reasons why I couldn't pursue my pharmacy career at the time, because to do that program, I'd said, the year I moved back to Nigeria was in Jos. I moved back to Nigeria a week to my traditional wedding. There was no way I was going to leave my dearest new husband to go to Jos for 8 weeks. So I needed to, so I continued doing my buying and selling.
Absolutely.
And then I think it was 2 years after then the program now moved to Lagos, but I was doing so well.
So now, before we get into the Kontessa story, quick one. Do you believe in this saying, as a woman, my money is my money, but your money is our money? Do you believe that?
No.
You don't?
No.
Interesting. What do you believe?
I believe that you are in a partnership and you should be able to do things together. Things have evolved and things have changed.
Absolutely.
I also believe there are certain things that if, in a relationship, the husband should do. But generally, I think that is a partnership and both of you should work together. And you find that in the world of today, sometimes one person seems to be doing better than the other at that particular time. So long as there's a balance and things get done, it shouldn't really matter as so much who is bringing what, so long as you get things done. So no, I don't.
I love that. That's so brilliant. Now, speaking about getting things done, let's talk about how you got the Kontessa brand going. How did it start? Where did it start from? Why did you even think that it was going to succeed?
Okay. When I moved back, as I said, in 97, I started just buying and selling from the boot of my car. Then I used to do like open weekends, when I had new things coming in. And then we converted one space in the boys' quarters to a store. And then it was, I think the year 1999, I believe, yes, that we're driving past Akandishol and we saw this construction coming up. And we're coming back from church, Chris and I. So that's where the idea came from. And we made inquiries about shops in the mall. And, of course, at the time, I didn't think it was possible because the rent was high. It was 250,000 a year, and you had to pay 2 years up front. And I'm thinking, where am I even going to see?
Interesting.
What am I selling? Things were like 2,500. But Chris believed in me. My father believed in me. So each of them paid 1 year's rent. And so at that time we decided, because in the mall they didn't want duplication of businesses. So I then decided that, okay, let me focus on shoes. I can still do my clothes at home and just have a shoe store. Along the line, or during that time, I was always going to Paris and Italy to bring in shoes wholesale. And then I found out about the shoe fair where I can go and order what I really wanted. They had 2 fairs, March and September. September is where you have the spring-summer collection, which is what is applicable to Nigeria. But I just had a baby. I just had a son in July. And the fair was in September. If I didn't go for it, that was 1999. If I didn't go for it, I would not be able to open my store in the year 2000 because I wouldn't have anything to show. So I debated it and we decided that I should go. So I left my 2-month-old son with my mom and went for about 3 days, did the exhibition and came back, and then we opened a day after his first birthday. And those are risks that one takes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's been brilliant. And then I also remember that because my mom would be saying, hey, this type of money, will you make it? And then 3 months after I opened, I remembered calling. I said, Mommy, guess what? I've made my 2 years rent back.
Whoa. So, I love that. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's backtrack a little bit. Did you have mom guilt when you left your baby? You did? I love that because, a lot of people say, mom guilt.
No. Because I knew I left my son with my mom who had 5 of us.
Yes.
So there's nothing that I could have done better than she could.
Absolutely.
So, no.
And I love that you said that your husband believed in you and your father believed in you. I want you to just talk to us about the role that their belief in you played in your success, because there are people who also might be listening. There's some times where people around you might say things, not necessarily because it's true, but because they just want to maybe encourage you. You know how sometimes when your father will say, oh, you are the best, be like, Daddy, because you're my father, right? So I want to know, when they did believe in you, like what role did that play? And did you believe them when they believed in you?
Okay, let me speak to my father first of all. So he's the type of person that he supports your dreams, right? And he allows you make your mistakes. So I remember when my youngest brother was about 14 or 15, we were in the UK at the time, and he decided that he wanted to buy a gaming business. So he had gaming machines in like laundrettes and all.
Oh, nice.
And my dad paid for the business. Did it do well? No. But once you're able to present to him an opportunity and he feels that it may work and you have great belief in it, he will do his best to support you. Knowing that if you do make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. He is a businessman. He's also made a lot of business mistakes and he's learned from that. So that is speaking to my father. And then with regards to my husband, he's one who allows you to fly with your dreams. He will encourage you. He would push you, keep you going. And, he's allowed me fly. So when that opportunity came up, he knew that I needed to move out from the house, and there was no way the business could grow being caged in the house. And it was a way that I'll be able to showcase the business and get it bigger and better. So he's always pushed.
I love that. I love that. That's when I believe that you're so fortunate as well to have people that believe in you around you to see you nurture your dreams. But before we move deeper into the Kontessa story, you said you sold in your boot. I want us to just sit there for a moment. Why was that the idea or the option? Was that a thing in those days, or like was that like how did that even come about? Like, why did you think my boots would make a good place to hang my clothes to showcase to people?
It was, and believe me, it still is. So at the time, most of my clients, my biggest clients at the time were Nigeria LNG, Intercontinental Bank. They don't have the time to come to you.
Yes.
Because most of them do not live on the island. So if you needed to sell to them, you needed to meet them at a place where they're able to see your things.
Absolutely.
So I would go to their office and then they will come out to where I'm packed and rummage through, and then pick what they wanted. And then it moved to Chevron. At a point in time, I had a dedicated staff that used to visit Chevron every Thursday because they wouldn't come. Then I already had my brick and mortar store. But you find that then we didn't have social media and websites and all of that. So in order to succeed, you needed to meet your clients in a way that was convenient for them. And that is probably part of why our business did well and grew, because we're flexible. If you couldn't come, we'd come to you, So
I love that.
So that was what informed the selling from the boot. Otherwise, you wouldn't sell. You sit down in your house and wait. Most of my clients didn't live on the island and they wouldn't come at the weekends.
Yeah.
So you can't meet them.
I love that so much because what this is also teaching us is you roll your sleeves up. You know, if it may not necessarily be convenient for you, if you really want it, you go and get it.
Definitely.
Right. And the reason why I decided to highlight that is the truth is we will always be faced with things that could be valid excuses. Right. There are things that people will say to you now and say, oh, this is my situation. It doesn't mean it's not valid. It's very valid. It's their reality. But would you use that as a stepping stone, or would you use that as a hurdle or something that would hold you back? And that's something that I've learned, albeit the hard way. But, you know, if you really want it, you would go get it.
Definitely.
I love that very much. So now getting into the Kontessa story, you know, it sounds all nice. Oh, yes, you know, you had people who believed in you. You started building your clientele, you know, building that Kontessa brand. But I want you to take us into a day that you will tag the worst day as the CEO of Kontessa. Just think about it. Anything. Like that one day that you know that will not leave your memory.
The one day that will not leave my memory is actually before I started Kontessa. So at the time I was expecting my son and I didn't travel. So I'd sent money to my younger sister who lived in America to go buy my clothes and everything. She had sent it and I'd planned my open weekend. Sent out my invitations, ordered my snacks, and the goods were meant to come in the weekend prior. My thing was Friday and Saturday. Monday, I didn't see my things. Tuesday, Wednesday. And on Thursday, I decided to go to NACO myself to look for all my things. I spent the whole day heavily pregnant looking for my things, and I never found it.
Whoa.
I got back home. I remember the chair I sat on in my living room, and I cried and cried and cried and cried. So much so that I was afraid to go to bed because I was so heartbroken that I felt that if I went to bed, I wouldn't wake up.
Whoa.
So before I went to bed, I promised God that if I can wake up the next morning, there's nothing I would lose that will make me behave the way I behaved that day.
Wow.
So I've been faced with a lot more losses.
Yes.
And people are like, you are not even affected. But I remember the vow I made because I was so sure that I would die of heartbreak.
Wow.
So I would never forget that day.
But thank you so much for letting us into that piece of your memory. This question is coming from Paul. Before we carry on the conversation, Paul is saying, please ask her how she came up with the name Kontessa.
Okay, how did I come up with the name Kontessa? It was my husband and I again.
Interesting.
So we were just thinking, and then we wanted something that was maybe like royalty. So we thought, okay, Contessa, and then we changed it Kontessa. So it doesn't really mean anything. It wasn't coined from two different names, or maybe that it was just me and him brainstorming, so to speak.
That is very creative. I would have never known. I just assumed that was a word. That's interesting. If you're listening, please feel free to send your questions in. The WhatsApp line is 0809 234 5913. 0809 234 5913. You know, there's sometimes that you would speak with some maybe business owners, especially who have been very successful, and you would ask them how they built their business. Some of them will say things like, I didn't build this business built me. Would you say that is a part of your story, and in what way, if so?
I would say the business has built me, built some of my attributes, some of my characteristics, because if you immerse yourself into what you do, as you go through the daily life of the business, it sort of shapes some aspects of your life. Yeah. So I would say the business has built me in terms of, the pitfalls you go through when in the type of business I do. You have to develop resilience. You have to develop patience with both your suppliers and with some of your clients. Yes. So you learn. It sort of shapes you, and you're able to have, how do I put it? You get better in some aspects or some attributes by your business.
I love that. Now, just speaking about building the business, let's talk about building a brand that has such a notable and respectable name as well. And the reason why I'm going to take this part very, very slowly is there are people who are listening and they found it very difficult to build their brand for multiple reasons, right? There are people who say, my family show me pepe. In fact, there's some people that come on social media and say, if I want to give you one advice for your business, don't depend on your family as your clients. Number one, don't hire your family or your friends. And so I want to get into that with building Kontessa, for instance, because I know that with what you've shared with me, the people around you played a very pivotal role in helping your process. When you wanted to start maybe getting more hands or just wanted to build the team, how did you start that process of building the Kontessa team?
Okay. Initially, it was really more of word of mouth. So the first few staff I had were recommended.
Okay.
And then I had his distant family member come join us. Having said that, I suffered a lot of disappointment with one of them. In fact, my first one.
Wow.
She was somebody, that's just to show you what you can go through in business. She was somebody that I took so much, we got on very well. And I'm the type of person that I want my staff to be part of what we're doing. So I took her to Italy with me. She went to France. She went to Spain. I took her for the exhibitions, the shows, and that's the type of person I am.
That's amazing.
And, I don't know if I say the devil got the better of her, but things happened and, stealing and all of that. But it didn't stop me from still continuing.
Absolutely.
My manager today now, I sent her for the exhibition. I don't even have to go.
Wow.
And even with my staff, we sit down and I was like, okay, you choose, put your signature so that when it comes, we don't sell it.
Yeah.
So I allow everybody their own independence, but still under the umbrella to be able to grow and for them to feel that they are really a part of what we have, And I would say that has played a very big part into where the business is today. Allowing your staff let them be part of the family. Take what they say, their comments, give them responsibility to know that as the business grows, they grow alongside. As well.
I love that. So what about people who are devastated when a staff goes? You know how someone has been with you and the person is saying they want to go, you feel like your whole life is coming to an end. So what would you say to people about losing staff in terms of them leaving and, switching things up?
Okay. To be honest, the average number of years each of my staff has been with me, average is 12 years.
Whoa.
My staff amazing. Hardly go. The people who go, they are still part of the family. Like when we did our 25th year anniversary sales, at least 5 of my ex-staff, some left me 10 years ago, came to help.
Whoa.
So it's not as if it is, I can count on one hand the few people who have left and have left in a bad way, and that's because they know what they have done. But I always tell my staff, the sky is also the limit. When you feel the time you have spent with me has come to an end, I have one of them who got married with me, has had 3 children, and has now gone up to start her own small business. Wow. But she's still part of the family. So your journey doesn't end with Kontessa. If it's a stepping stone for you to move on to greater and better things, I'm happy for you.
Why not?
Yeah.
I love that. And I believe that is a testament to your leadership, right? Because it is, that is clearly what it is for them to be comfortable enough to say, I want to help. Yes. I want to support. I want to contribute. That is definitely a testament to your leadership. Now, speaking about building a brand, I know that you have a lot of clients who've probably become friends as well. And even recently, it's not until very recently with our access to social media and information. I always call YouTube my university because you can go and learn so many things there. And it's not until recently that we started seeing a lot of people put out, master classes that are easily accessible, teaching people these are the steps to build a brand. Do this, do that, don't do that. When you were building, because the Kontessa brand is a household name, was that an intentional thing when you were building Kontessa? Were you intentional about building the Kontessa name, or is it something that just happened along the way?
If I'm honest, I think it's something that happened. When I started, yes, I wanted to build a great business. Did I know where it would take me? No. But I was also intentionally empowering myself. So even right from at the very beginning, I did programs on starting a small business, managing a growing business. I've gained a lot of knowledge from other people and from attending classes and courses. And that was now why I became to be more intentional as to where I wanted my brand to go. So at the initial stages, no, it was just, let me start this business. But now that I've seen that it is something that can grow even after my time.
Absolutely.
And not necessarily having my children run it, but to have somebody who have empowered, who has walked the journey with me,
absolutely,
take it over when, I want to pivot to pharmacy.
To pharmacy.
I want to retire.
Oh my days. I love that. And you know what? I feel like this clearly also highlights how passionate you are about development, especially as it concerns your business. And the reason why I'm saying that is, the fashion industry, we can get so carried away with the creative aspect of it, coming up with fantastic ideas, picking the types of outfits, you're living out your fashionista dreams by doing that. But there is a business arm of it, right? There are some people that quote unquote learn on the job, and there's some people that take it a whole nother level and say, you know what, let me do this course and do that just so that I know exactly what I'm doing. And I think that is absolutely fantastic, because it does teach us or make us aware of the importance of going beyond the creative aspect of building businesses. And I feel like that's something that I'm still trying to learn. I love to come up with fantastic ideas, and I just love the parts where you're just looking, this one will be pink, this one will be red. But the business aspect of it is absolutely important. Now, just speaking about the business aspect of it, is there any time within the business that you decided that, or you probably thought, I'm not doing this business again? I don't want. In fact, let me just close this business up today and, let's just call it a day. And maybe let me go to pharmacy.
No.
Wow.
I guess I'm used to walking through challenges. And then I attended a program in Lagos Business School, Owner Manager Program. And we really went through the rigors of how to run your business. So having done that, and the other courses I've gone through, it builds you, So have I gotten to the stage where I want to pack it all in? No. Have I gone through a lot of challenges? Definitely. Yeah. But that is what keeps me going, because I've worked hard to build this. I'm not going to throw it away, one day.
I love that.
I remember, I think it was just post-COVID, digital marketing. I didn't know anything about it. And actually, they're course in Colombia.
Whoa.
And then after doing it, I realized that it's not something that I can handle. Best to employ somebody else to do.
Absolutely.
But then I wanted to even understand what digital marketing was all about. Initially, I thought, it is not just to post and all of that. But it's not. A lot of algorithms, a lot of things.
No, absolutely, yes.
So, but at least I know the basics. I know what it's all about. So I like to improve.
I love that very much. And, just this has got me to, there's this particular, I would say, business development personnel that, I don't know if that's what I would call him, but Simon Sinek. He's also a speaker, and I know he's a leadership exec as well. And there's something that I came across, which is starting with the why. Letting us know that the why is the central point of whatever goal it is that we achieve. It's the why that keeps you going back to saying today, I want to go back. I want to know what your why is. Like, if we ask Mrs. Ijeoma Ubosi what that central point, what is that why that just keeps you believing that Kontessa should still exist?
I love what I do, and I also know that I'm walking in my path and the destiny that has been, that's my destiny. That is what God has ordained for me. And that's why I know that I will succeed.
I love
because
that
I'm walking my walk, So that's the why for me. I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do at the time I'm supposed to be doing it.
Did you always know? Because, sometimes we could engage in certain activities because we like it, and we're still not sure, is this what I'm supposed to be doing in life? there's something that I love, which is serendipity. That thing that you're supposed to do, but you bump into it on your way to doing something else. So maybe you're just going along with what life has thrown at you, or the opportunities that have come your way, and you're just like, okay, let me just do this until I now figure out, and then you might eventually bump into it. Mm-hmm. But for you, with you being so certain that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, did you always feel like you were doing what you were supposed to be doing?
No, because I've ventured into other businesses.
Interesting.
Like I ventured into FMCG, that's fast moving consumer goods.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was, I'd seen a lot of people do it and doing very well at it. And I entered it in a big way. And it fell flat on my feet.
Oh, my days.
I did it for about 3 years. I had multiple stores I had in Trade Fair. If you know where Trade Fair is. And I was going there 2 days a week.
Whoa.
I had stores in Badagry. I had stores in Mushin. I was a distributor for some of the big companies.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people that are doing very well in it.
Absolutely.
Very, very well. There's even generational business. But it didn't work out for me. I did not study the market I was getting myself into, and I got my fingers burned. And that's something a lot of new business people do. They go into businesses because they think it will be good or somebody else is doing it. Mm-hmm. But it may not work out for you like it didn't work out for me. 3 years I tried, but I was also able to come to that decision that it's not for me. And I was able to exit and, close that chapter.
Wow. And for people who are in a place where they've still not figured out what they're supposed to be doing and what their purpose is. Because I know that you are a mom of 3 amazing children. And I'm sure you probably have gotten to the point where you've had to have conversations with them about what's the next step. What is the future saying? What direction do you want to go? And for some other people like that are listening and they're like, I still don't know. Like, I've still not figured it out yet exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. What would you say to them?
There may be, definitely there'll be 1 or 2 things that you have in your mind. So I would say put pen to paper, pros and cons, and then just start small.
I like that.
Just start small. You never know till you try. Don't keep procrastinating and think, no, it's not the right time. Oh, I'm not so sure. You never know till you try. So just start small, baby steps. If it doesn't work out, what do you have to lose? A little bit, but at least you've tried that. So that's what I would say is that, if say you are thinking between 2 or 3 things, weigh all of them. You probably can't do all at the same time, but choose one and just start. That's a problem that a lot of us have, just taking decision to just start and see how it takes you.
I love that. All right, so 08092345913. And I've always wanted to ask this. Is there any time that you've had any altercation with maybe any of your clients? Because the reason why I'm asking this is one of my fears, right, used to be, hey, what if the client comes to hold my trouser one day and say, hey, I ordered this and it did not fit me, or I ordered this, I did not receive it. So that in itself, it just always haunts me when I think about getting into businesses that might be, consumer or customer facing, right? So have you ever had that moment where you're like, man, like, who is this client? Who sent you?
My clients are listening.
From the past. That is no longer your clients, maybe.
No, generally you are tried.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. You are tried and tested. But you are in a customer service business. You just have to hold your breath or hold whatever you would want to say and find a way to resolve it. Will you resolve all your clients' complaints or their challenges? You may not be able to, but you have to do your best. Sometimes at a loss to you, but you just have to try because you're in a customer-facing business and you rely on referrals, you rely on, people's impressions about where they've been to. Mm-hmm. So you must do your best not to get caught up in altercations with your clients.
And I want to know what you've actually learned in engaging clients as well all these years? Because I'm sure you didn't always get it right from the beginning. It's not like you were perfect from the beginning. Obviously, with time, I'm sure you grew. So what have you learned? Because we still have sometimes once in a while stories on social media where the argument is about, is the customer always right? Or at that times you need to show the customer that today you are not right. So, what are the things that you've learned, and is the customer always right?
I've learned that there are different types of people that you come across.
Yes.
And when things happen, you find that people really change.
Oh my God.
Good evening.
Interesting conversation, because, what came to my mind was, how do you handle Nigeria factor doing business in Nigeria? And then how do you handle debt? I hear customer service, customer relationship, all of these convo, very interesting. But how do you handle conflict around debt, money?
That's a very key question. That is very key. All right.
Nice,
All right, if we can keep listening. That's a very key question. There's one money I'm expecting. Just give me this dress now. I'll pay you later. So how really do you handle debt or situations surrounding debt? And in general, how do you manage running a business in Nigeria?
So for every Nigerian business, debt is an integral part. Let me put it that way. But how do you manage it such that your debt is as low as possible and your income, or what is coming in, is high? In the Nigeria of today, it is difficult to be able to live debt-free. But I've also learned not to get carried away, because if you allow your clients the leeway, they will get carried away. Sure. So in order to manage your debt, you also have to be able to manage the expectations of your clients by letting them know, you have to be able to manage it, and don't let them get carried away because you want to make a sale. But what I tell my staff is that your work doesn't stop at making that sale. It is when the money has entered our account that your work is complete. So don't feel that, at the end of the day, I've sold XYZ and then we don't see it.
Yes.
So if you make that sale, it is your responsibility to make sure the funds are collected. There's nothing wrong in debt. That is the only way you can grow. But you have to be able to manage the debt and also manage your customers so that they know that we are allowing you this thing on trust. And if the trust is betrayed, you won't get that opportunity again. By and large, it's not been bad. In the early days of my business, I used to just want to sell, and I got my fingers burnt. You have so much money outside. You want to now bring in new goods, and you're looking at your bank account, and you're thinking, okay, how am I going to make this happen? But if you're able to not get carried away and know that debt is necessary, but it's how you manage it and manage your collections that it's important.
I love that very much. We're going to be wrapping this up very soon, but before we get to the last bit, which is going to be a very fun bit, of course I have to ask this question. So, Madam Ijeoma, if in the future, which is hopefully the nearest future, I want to, buy my future husband that type of ride, give me my steps. Let me know. Step one. Step one, what am I doing? How do I make sure that, I make him smile and make him cruise around town with that car that his wife copped for him? So give me the steps.
Or what the steps to take to get the car?
To get the car, to have the money. You have to have the money first now.
You have to work hard. See, the thing is that a lot of people, you can, let's leave the car thing.
Yes.
You want to give a gift.
Yes.
Not everybody likes to give. A lot of people like to receive.
That's so true.
So you have to be giving. If you don't have a giving heart, you can't achieve that. That's one. Number two, you have to work hard. You have to be disciplined and work hard and look at the goal that you are trying to achieve.
Absolutely.
So it's not about the car.
Yeah.
It's about I wanted to give a loved one something from the bottom of my heart to say thank you, to appreciate him, or so that's what it is. It's not really the gift
in itself.
It's not the gift in itself. It's the reason behind the gift. And it shows that you had to work hard to get that gift.
Absolutely.
And it's a way of appreciating him or that loved one for all he had also put into me to be able to get the funds or the resources to give that gift.
I love that. What a depth that comes from that particular story. But even before we wrap this up, I just want you to speak a little bit more on appreciation as well. You know, even beyond the car or even your loved one. I want to know the role that appreciation has played in your growth or in your success, because it might not necessarily show up in all those success books as these are the steps to success. But I really want to know.
I'm a very grateful person. I'm grateful in the little things. I'm grateful in the big things, you know. And even with our customers, we are grateful.
Yeah.
You know, so in the early days, I used to do throw New Year parties just to say thank you to my customers. But then they told me the feedback was that they rather get gifts than have the party. So we pivoted and we started giving gifts. And we're intentional about it, and every January they are excited and look forward to what is coming their way.
Yeah.
So I'm always grateful. I truly appreciate, because not everybody has it the same way, and my story could have been different.
Absolutely.
If not just the grace of God,
Yeah.
the loyalty of my customers, and the love and support I get from my family and loved ones.
I love that
And my
very
staff.
much. I love that very. This is coming from a listener saying, Ijeoma Ubosi, businesswoman par excellence. My customer, my namesake, is what she. Okay, so let's just take this last call very quickly. Good afternoon. Hello.
Mrs. Ubosi.
Good
Well
afternoon.
done. I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you. So Mrs. Ubosi is such an amazing woman, and the thing about her business is the same way you feel when she attends to you. If you go there and you meet any member of her staff, they'll still make you have that experience.
Wow.
And
Thank you.
woman is just a business mogul, Jerry. She does everything.
Love it.
Anything you want to, she's in that business. Yeah. We're just super proud of her, and well done.
Thank you.
Thank
Well
you
done
very
for bringing
much.
her for us to hear her voice.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Wow. You see, you remember we were talking about what we're going to say for for 1 whole hour. There's still so much more, like getting into the other ventures that you've gotten into, but we have run out of time. So before I let you go, so this is a very last part, right? I need to test your Gen Z knowledge. Let me see. Let me see how many Gen Z slangs you know. So I'm going to be giving you some slangs, and I want you to tell me what you think it means. The first one is no cap. No cap.
No idea. Maybe no end.
No. Think again. Try for one more second. No cap. No cap.
No clue.
So no cap means no lie. No lie. So if someone says cap, it means you're lying.
Aha.
The next one is flex. What does flex mean?
Like Shakara.
Aha, I love it. What does bet? Maybe when someone says something, you'd be like, bet.
As in, okay, I bet you. That means I'm sure. Did I get that?
You know what? It's actually kind of close. I agree.
Okay.
Like, bet. I agree. What does sauce mean?
This is exam. Is it like too much sauce? That means you are too much.
I mean, you know what? That was not the sauce I was talking about. But yes, that sauce, yes, is correct. So you got that one. Then there's the one that is SUS, which is sauce, like suspect. That person is actually very suspicious. All right. Then the last one, when someone says this slaps, what does it mean? This slaps.
Nasty?
No. The opposite. Anytime you think about
really?
Gen Z,
This is good. My
yeah,
children.
this is good.
Shout out to my children.
Yeah.
They are not teaching me anything. So I
You
don't
need to
hear
teach
this
her
from
more.
you.
This slaps is really good. That's what it means.
Okay, I've learned.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Mrs.
So this show
Ijeoma.
slaps.
It's
Oh,
there you go. I hope you got that on. Yeah, I'm sure they got that on record. Thank you very much. I love that so much. But just 2 more seconds. I always ask everyone that comes here if they were able to give us some 3 ingredients from their blueprint of success. What would those 3 ingredients be?
resilience, focus, God's grace.
Oh, I love that. God's grace, very important.
Yes.
It has been such a pleasure having this conversation with you. I loved every bit of everything that I got to learn and glean from you. I always knew we were going to have this conversation, but I just never knew when. I didn't know if it was 5 years ago or 3 years later, but I'm so thankful that you were able to share all these with us today. Wishing you the absolute best.
Thank you very much for having me. I had butterflies in my tummy coming
And
here,
we couldn't even tell.
but it was great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I love that very much. All right, guys, that is all on the blueprint for today. You could catch up on what you've missed out on our YouTube. That is Lagos Talks 913. You could check out today's show on YouTube. We're going to be putting up this show shortly, and you get a lot of nuggets from it. And I'll be back, God willing, next week, Tuesday. You can reach out to me on TikTok, reach out to me on Instagram at Ify_I. That is IFY_I. Don't forget to follow Lagos Talks across all social media platforms. Lagos Talks 913. Mrs. Ijeoma, if people are looking for ways to maybe reach out to you, follow you, are you social?
Yes. Instagram is Ijeoma Ubosi, LinkedIn is Ijeoma Ubosi, and the shop is at the Kontessa Shop.
At the Kontessa Shop. Thank you so much for that one. The show continues. I believe the wise men are around the corner. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today.